My talk is on something ridiculously simple. It's called how much. Quanto. For instance, do you believe in God? Show of hands. No? How much? Right. Are you a libertarian? You know. How much are you a libertarian? Right? Are you straight? How much? How much? How much? So this very simple phrase, how much, I think is powerful medicine, because we have a problem today. The problem is that we have forgotten how to talk with each other. People talk past each other. And how much is a question that if we ask it, even though it sounds really geeky and really awkward, can help us connect to each other and understand each other and ourselves. Now, why is this? How much, just the question, is relational. If you're asking how much, it's either more or less than something else. So there's a connection with something else immediately when you go how much. Now, Buddhist Philosophy 101. You all know it. The three poisons: attachment, hatred, and ignorance. Buddha said that all those three, the other two, hatred and attachment, stem from ignorance. What is ignorance? Ignorance, in a way, is not asking how much, because ignorance is either overstating something or understating something. So I'm David, but I'm David with a small d. I'm David only because there are all of you out here. I'm not David with a capital D, separate from everyone else. I'm a relational David, so I can hang out. I can relate to all of you. So that's why they call it the middle path. And how much is a way for us to get back to that. So there are two things that set us off, that take us off a path to be able to connect. One of them is fundamentalism. What's that? It's my way or the highway. And you can be fundamentalist about anything. You can be fundamentalist about Buddhism, about yourself. Fundamentalism is, man, it's 100%, my 100%, that's it. Or, these days, we can all be kind of loose and relativist, and we can say, well, everyone has his or her own point of view, and that's cool. We really don't have to think about it. So the problem with the fundamentalists is they can't really listen to anybody. It's just that. The relativists, they listen to everybody. But can they do anything? So how much is a powerful medicine to be able to connect us again? So it comes up in all kinds of things. For instance, take something as troubling as the issue of abortion, right? Troubling issue. But you see that people talk past each other. No, it's only about the life of the fetus or the child. And then someone else says, well, but it's really about a woman's autonomy over her body. And the two don't meet. And I realized that this was a big problem in my study and research on Buddhism when I was looking at Western interpretations of Buddhism. You get people who say, beautiful thing, Buddhism, it's spiritual. It's about overcoming our negative tendencies, reaching nirvana, or using, in esoteric Buddhism, all of this to power ourselves so we can benefit others. But it's spiritual. But then I found there were all kinds of very intelligent scholars who would say, no, it's not spiritual. It's all about the money. It's all about power. It's all about economics. It's all about men dominating women. And what I found was there was a complete disconnect. And of course, we see this disconnect, this kind of separation of discourse. We see it where? We see it in the U.S. Congress. We see it Fox News, MSNBC. We see it in a discussion about immigration, right? Some say, seal the borders. Others say it's about a path to citizenship. But there's very little dialogue. So if you ask how much, then that is a key to overcoming that separation. can even be, do you love me? Do you love me? And so my love says, yeah, I love you. But if I ask how much, she might say, I love you about 93% today. You know why? Because you snored last night and you didn't put the cap back on the toothbrush, on the toothpaste, excuse me. So this can be applied to all kinds of things. It's a way of overcoming all of this. So, but how do we get down? How do we apply this? And I'm going to switch a little bit. There's a famous story in the Buddhist sutras about a serial killer named Angulimala. Buddha knew he was going to kill his next victim. And so Buddha interposed himself between the victim and the killer and moved around so that the killer couldn't get to the victim. And the killer said, stop, stop. And Buddha said, I have stopped. When are you going to stop? So we can use how much as this kind of stopping. When you go down that rut or you find yourself in a conversation which isn't going anywhere, you're not connecting, you can say, stop. And I came up with a little mnemonic tool, a way to remember this. And how can we apply this? And I thought we could do it like this. Pure stop. I know this all sounds a little weird, but you got to try it, okay? Pure stop stands for asking a whole bunch of questions about whatever you're discussing. Pure is, where's the power? P, power. U, what's the use? Okay, R, what's the religion? E, what are your emotions about this question? This opens up a whole way to talk to people, right? Stop, what's the science? T, what's the tradition? How have we treated this in the past? O, is it obvious? Is it like, duh, right? And the last one, probably most important, is P. What's my own prejudice on this issue? So take a question like, should we raise taxes for the rich? Right? And you can ask all kinds of questions. Just take this one. Well, look at it and you say, well, taxes for the rich. Look, P for power. Wait a minute. I only thought this was about money. But is it about power also? Right? Are the rich people thinking, if they can tax me, what else can they do to me? And are people who feel disempowered saying, we want to take back some of the power? Right? So you look at that aspect. What's the use of raising taxes? Well, is the money going to go to fund another war? Or is it going to be used to help people in one way or another? And what kind of taxes? Gift tax, sales taxes. What are we talking about? R, religion. What does religion have to say about this? Because, you know, there are lots of questions where religion is very important. And that says, time's up. Okay. So what's the religion and what's the emotion? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about taxes? And then we get to the science, the economics of it, the tradition, what have we done in the past? If aliens are attacking and there's only money held by rich people, you got to take it from the rich people to stop the aliens, right? And then, what is my own prejudice? So I think that we can use this, how much, geeky as it sounds, in a way that's not fundamentalist. We can play with it. This is a tool, an arrow in our quiver, so we can connect with each other. And the way it works, it's like a helix that ascends and goes up and up. You start talking to someone, you're divided. You get into it, you say, how much? You start talking about it. You learn about yourself, you learn about the other person, you learn about the issue. On and on, you keep doing it. And then we keep re-engaging with each other because we have to keep talking to each other. We do it better at Burning Man, but out there, we need a lot of help. Thank you so much.